Welcome to the Real MacKay, the Scotland Today video blog. Now, we've been trying something new in Scotland Today recently, particularly with reporters who've been abroad. I think the first time we did it was in the Commonwealth Games announcement from Sri Lanka. It used to be that if a reporter went abroad, what they would send back was a thing called track and rushes, the track being their voice and the rushes being the pictures. And an editor here would combine the two according to the reporter's instructions. But we're doing it slightly differently now as things move forward. And Bob Ray, the news operations manager, is here to explain it to us. So, Bob, what are we doing now?
Well, what we're using now is a system called BGAN, which stands for Broadband Global Area Network. It's a satellite-based system, which is highly. The big advantage is that it's highly portable. It uses a little terminal like this. I don't know if Michael can show us it on the screen here. It's about the size of a laptop PC. And you can use it pretty much anywhere in the world. There's a little coverage map up here showing you where the satellites are located. It basically gives you the equivalent of a very early sort of speed of broadband connection that you would have got at home when broadband first appeared.
Right.
So what you do in conjunction with this is use a normal laptop PC running Newscutter, which is the same system as we use for editing in the newsroom. So once the guys have finished all their filming, they plug the camera up to the laptop, ingest all the material, just like the workflow here, do the edit, then using a bit of software called QuickLink, you then compress the finished product down to a much smaller size. You then hook the laptop up to the BGAN terminal, and you then do what's called a store and forward. You send it in much less than real time, but still at good quality. It then makes its way over the satellite, arrives in a server, which is actually in Aberdeen, and then it's sent down here for transmission.
So that all sounds pretty remarkable. The principle from our point of view for the layman is it makes it easier for us. There's no track and rushes or anything.
It makes it easier because it gives the guys on site a bit more control, because they're able to edit. They have control over how the finished product looks, so they can edit it. It takes away the reliance on having to find a sort of an affiliate broadcaster abroad whose base we can go to feed material and so on, and the associated cost.
Of course, well, that's something
Exactly.
we used to do. You used to have to go to, as you say, find an affiliate broadcaster. You used to have to go to their studios and send the pictures back from there. So this means they can do it from the hotel room.
We're totally independent. You can do it from a hotel room, and because the system is broadband based, if the hotel happens to be one of these hotels that offers free Wi-Fi or free broadband connection, you can actually you don't have to then deploy the BGAN, and it actually. For instance, some of the feeds that we did from Sri Lanka were done over the hotel broadband, so they didn't cost us anything in terms of airtime.
Now, enlarge upon that for me. You were talking about you could send it in less than real time. Is that what you said?
It's not less than real time. It's actually more than real time. Right. So, for instance, a 5 minute piece might take 45 minutes to send.
Right. I maybe picked you up wrong,
because you're sending a file, it's just a bit slower.
What does that mean in terms? Because as I recall, again from stuff we did abroad, you quite often had to your deadline over there was a lot earlier than the programme on air here. So this actually allows us to push that deadline back a wee bit.
It depends because of time differences and so on. It depends what part of the world you're in. If you're in a country that's way ahead of us in terms of time, or you could be somewhere that's way behind. It's the one thing that you need to think about, because you're effectively doing a file transfer over the internet, which in essence is what it is, that things can go wrong, connections can be slow depending on where you are, how many other people are fighting with you for bandwidth and that sort of thing. So it's one thing that guys have to be kind of vigilant about is to allow time for it to happen.
And we've used it principally with Raman following the sports games, the European games, is that right?
Yeah, we've used it several times. The first time we set out to use it was the Commonwealth Games announcement in Sri Lanka. Luckily, Danny, our cameraman, who's a very sort of, what's the word I'm looking for? He's quite a resourceful sort of chap. Managed to find some people that had a satellite dish and were able to do proper, high-quality lives.
Right.
Since then, we've used it to feed material from Orkney. We've used it when Jamie Livingston went to Norway with the Marines to do Arctic warfare training. Used it in Greece recently, and at the moment it's in Barcelona as we speak.
So the stuff we see tonight from Raman in Scotland Today will have been edited there and transmitted using this?
Yes.
So this is the future, as Peter Kay would say?
It is. It's one of these things, it's horses for courses, really. it won't replace the traditional satellite truck, because the satellite truck, as we know it, the van with the dish on the roof, has its applications. The quality is a lot better. If you do a live broadcast with this, a two-way down the line with say Raman and Barcelona or whatever, there are quality issues and it can look a bit blocky and the pictures have a slightly odd look to them sometimes. So in terms of replacing the satellite truck for the full band, high quality live, it probably won't. But in terms of being able to go somewhere and know that you're totally independent, be able to do your own editing and be able to get the material back to base, albeit it can take a little bit of time to do it, then it's absolutely spot on, and it gives us the independence and it saves us money, which is a bonus.
Always
prize.
yes, always
absolutely,
a bonus.
Absolutely.
Okay, we'll see how it goes tonight, Bob. Thank you for that.
No problem.